Now, I'm not your average student speaker. I'm not an honors student. The university has employed both my parents, and as a result, I grew up on this campus and owe a lot to the university. But even so, despite the obvious role the U has played in my life, I only spent the last 2 years of my undergraduate career at the U of M. I spent my first 2 years of college on the West Coast at the University of Oregon. But after an uninspiring and very rainy 2 years there, I decided to leave Oregon and return to Minnesota. At the end of my last summer in Oregon, I found myself sitting at Jeff's barbecue shack for one last sandwich before I boarded my flight back to my hometown of St. Paul. While I ate, Jeff himself recounted to me his own college experience. While doing so, he continually stressed that in his time, students were motivated and conscious. He told me how he and his friends marched on Washington during the Civil Rights Movement and made it clear that this experience was one of the most important in his life as well as the history of our country. He lamented the fact that the youth today seemed listless and apathetic, unmotivated and unfocused. And as I realized he was talking about us, about our generation, I spat out my sandwich and tried to argue against his point. Then I realized I had no argument to give. I realized that in my time as an Oregon Duck, I had seen exactly what Jeff had been describing. I left Jeff's barbecue shack and the West Coast as a whole, generally bothered by that conversation. I began seriously questioning why it was that our generation had, up until that point, left me without any sense of meaning or empowerment. The question seemed unanswerable, but asking it seriously guided me in my early days at the U. I began looking for an environment where I could see and experience my peers engaged in meaningful activity. I arrived in Minnesota ready to start fresh at the U of M, but recognized, as I'm sure many of you have, that at a large state school such as this, I would have to be proactive if I wanted to find my niche. So I called up an old high school friend, and she told me about a student group she led on campus that hosted open mics twice a month. She invited me to come check one out. With no commitments beyond my classwork, I went to Moose Tower to see what all the buzz was about. That first open mic proved pivotal to my campus career. There, I saw a distinct environment amongst U of M students of excellence, achievement, and respectful competition. As I watched a young man deliver a spoken word piece, I felt some answers to the questions that surfaced at Jeff's barbecue begin to form in the back of my mind. From behind the microphone, the young man spoke of his girlfriend, and in a way that took a stand against the injustice women face on a daily basis. I spent the summer in the midst of a goddess, he said, surprised at his own confidence. Somewhere around her heart was the imprint of a promise, never to let me down and always to be honest. Of course, I fell in love so quick it was supersonic. She said she couldn't be hurt, so I didn't drink her tonic, but guarded her goblet. Told the general, put troopers on it. Personal sacrifice should a threat ever come upon it. Don't pawn it, don't want another to have a chance to have bought it. She's fine. Baby girl, you're fine, and now I'm finally yours. And this ain't something you can find in the stores. Opposed to giving you diamonds, and it's not cause I'm poor. It's cause I'd rather put my halo on your finger and soar. I'll give you hell, I'll give you heaven, everything between and more. Cause we were meant to be together since the umbilical tore. So can you feel it? It's raw, I'm breathing free once again. I owe this to you, it's true, I owe this to them. Cause when no one would do a thing for me, family and friends, you did it for me once, then you did it for me again. So if ever you need a warrior, it's from me you should send, and I'll bring the troops to come to your defense. By the end of his piece, this young man had moved 300 people into a voracious applause. This open mic motivated me to join Voices Merging, a move that ultimately helped me take the defining step of my undergraduate career in starting my own hip-hop-centered student group, the Cypher Coalition. Regardless of how it may sound, I did not take these steps overnight. and have had moments over the past 2 years when I have questioned my commitments. We all have moments like this, and it was during one of these moments I was walking across campus and passed a young woman who had put together a rally to inspire change and awareness around our public education system. Through a broken microphone, she spoke to a crowd that had gathered in front of an impromptu stage. She highlighted the ills average youth face every day in public schools. "Patriotism's being measured on the war front," she announced to her crowd in the mall. "But ask the children, the war was brought to their doorfront. Students fed by the same vendor as the inmates, and we build jail cells based on attendance rates. And we build schools by the same architects as prisons. Seems to me like these should be built with opposite visions. Everything's nailed down, nothing can go very far. Sorry kids, but here nothing can go very far. I know it's hard to understand because it sounds like another planet where kids will only stay warm, granted it doesn't snow very hard. Blatant disrespect, like y'all can't get no recess, no playground and no swing sets or grass to grow in the yard. Gotta take the long route home, around where those on Mulberry are. Or else it's alternative parenting by the youngest in charge. They say warriors should ally to the king, but I'd rather fight for children who've lost all their self-esteem because their teachers quit teaching to become disciplinarians, scaring them out of their classrooms and their hopes and their dreams." As she finished, my mind wandered. At first I thought it was a little weird that everyone at the U of M spoke in rhyme. Then I remembered why I was at school, why I was in the College of Liberal Arts at all. I didn't leave Oregon to go to the Carlson School and wear 2 polos at once. I came to the College of Liberal Arts because I knew it was here I would make a change. I came here to answer the question that was tearing at me when I left U of O. What is it exactly that makes our generation unique? What is it about us and our time that gave Jeff and so many others the impression that our generation is somehow disappointing compared to those past? Though my time at the U has been short, in this brief period, I have seen in all of you the same values and traits as Jeff's generation and more. I have seen in all of you the antithesis to Jeff's opinion that our generation was apathetic and unmotivated. The Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War united Jeff and his peers. The wars we are fighting today in Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere definitely have not united us on campus, but it is our generation that is on the front lines in fighting these wars, and that is a fight we can all be proud of. Furthermore, our generation continues the battles against racism and prejudice daily, which is another victory for us all. But there is still global warming, the reality that we're falling behind as a country in educating our youth, homelessness, joblessness, and countless other issues that need to be addressed. Clearly our time is different than Jeff's, and there's no one lesson plan that's going to get us out into the streets, marching together for a single purpose when the causes are so diverse. Every year for the College of Liberal Arts commencement ceremony, they select a student speaker to represent the graduating class. I'm not your average student speaker, and we are not the average graduating class. Nor is this the average time in history to be graduating with a liberal arts degree. For our generation, the challenges are many, but so are the opportunities. I have no doubt we will each find our own fight, and through many different approaches to change, leave a legacy as strong as that left by Jeff and our parents and professors. My fellow students, if I have learned 3 things in my time here at the University of Minnesota, it is to not get caught up in mistakes. It is to always keep reinventing yourself. And as Tracy Morgan has said, it is to live every week like it's Shark Week. Congratulations to the College of Liberal Arts' last graduating class of 2009. It is an honor to be able to say that I will be graduating with some of the best Minnesota has ever seen. As a representative of the students graduating today, I would like to thank all of the friends, family, faculty, and peers.